History was made Friday at the state capitol as Representative Darrin Williams, a Democrat from Little Rock, was elected as the designated Speaker of the House for the 89th General Assembly, which will convene in 2013. Williams is the first African American elected to that position. I caught up with Williams earlier for his thoughts on the election and a looming controversy that could evolve depending on the number of Democrats and Republicans elected to the House this November.
Oh, first of all, congratulations, Darrin. I've known you since college back in the 1980s, and I have to say I expected big things from you then, but who would have thought that your class would have produced Republican Congressman Tim Griffin and Democratic Speaker-designate Representative Darrin Williams?
Isn't that right? That's right. Well, thank you so much, Roby. You're right. My friend Tim is in Congress, and fortunately the members of the General Assembly have asked me to be their speaker, so I'm excited.
Well, at your press conference on Friday, you kind of downplayed the historic nature of your election as the first African American to be elected Speaker designate. Kind of all humility aside, don't you think it's kind of a big deal?
Well, you know, I'm excited for the state of Arkansas. We unfortunately have a past that's not been really kind with regard to race issues, but I think we're moving beyond that. And if this election helps us move beyond that, then I'm excited about it because we are much different than maybe what we've been portrayed. I'm excited to have this opportunity. Both black and white members of the General Assembly selected me, and I think it's showing that we've come together. We're healing in this state, and this is great for the state, and I'm excited to be a part of history, sure.
Now, Darrin, you've said you want to serve the whole House of Representatives, but it's not a stretch of the imagination to say that this vote was along party lines. You won 54 to 46. The vote for Republicans and Democrats in the House is the same. Knowing that the Republicans are saying that they want to take the House majority and put their own person in the Speaker's seat, is that going to allow you to move forward in some good faith?
Well, I hope so. You know, one of the things that I talked to both my Republican and Democratic colleagues about while running for Speaker was finding common ground, finding common sense solutions. And to many of my Republican colleagues, it was no secret that they were not going to vote for me. They told me that. But the question I asked once they told me they may not could support me is that can we move past this election and work together? Would they be willing to sit down with me and find common ground? And everyone that I asked said yes. And so I think we're going to move forward. We're going to do what's best for the people of Arkansas.
Well, there's plenty of rhetoric that neither Democrats nor Republicans want to see D.C.-style politics here in Arkansas, but don't you kind of think it's inevitable that it's going to come? I mean, there seems to be some pretty tight agendas on the Republican side and the Democratic side. Isn't whoever wins just going to kind of impose their will, I mean, with the right party discipline?
Sure. Well, you know, that's not how it works in politics. Politics is all about finding common ground and compromising. Neither party will have the type of majority that Democrats enjoyed, just 10 years ago, where they had more than 75 people out here. And, of course, it takes 75 people to pass a budget bill. I don't think our numbers will be that great. I think the Democrats will maintain the majority. But what that means is we will have to work together. We'll have to take the best ideas. I said in my speech, neither Democrats nor Republicans have a monopoly on good ideas. And we need to take the best ideas and try to implement them for the people of Arkansas.
What are some ideas that you want to see implemented, and what are some Republican ideas that you see on that side of the fence that you think ought to be pursued?
Well, again, I try not to label ideas Democratic ideas or Republican ideas, but with regard to the House's agenda in the 89th General Assembly, that will be an agenda that we set together. I don't think I, as Speaker of the House, should set forth an agenda before I've sat down and spoke with my colleagues, both Republican and Democrats, and asked them what's important to them. We're going to build a consensus. We do it not by me dictating what our policy is going to be. We build a consensus by us talking together and shaping that policy and those platforms together. And that's what I intend to do. Now, we know there's some issues that we've got to address. We have to continue to adequately fund education. Every kid in Arkansas deserves a world-class education. We've got to make sure that we have the resources to provide them with that world-class education, both in terms of adequate facilities, as well as in terms of proper preparation and resources dedicated to the needs of the students, particularly so we can reduce the remediation rates that we're seeing in college. We also know that we've got a looming problem with our Medicaid system. We've got to figure out how to close that shortfall in funding. We also know that in order for Arkansas to continue to move forward, we've got to continue to support our small businesses. We've got to do that. We're going to do that. I'm excited about that opportunity. I'm excited what Governor Beebe and this General Assembly has done already. We've got a pretty good economy when you compare us to the other states in this country. And so many states would love to be in our position. So we're going to work on, for sure, education, solving this Medicaid problem, and also growing our economy.
So what do you think happens if Republicans take a majority in the House and they do install their own speaker? What will that say about the General Assembly to you?
Well, I don't want to really talk in hypotheticals. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that, as our rules say, it's the intent of the General Assembly to elect a person, and they've elected me, to be the next speaker. That's what our rules say. That's what's always happens, never changed, and I don't see that changing now. I think that we'll come together, we'll find common ground, and we'll move forward. So I don't want to really talk about hypotheticals because I have no idea what would happen. What I know that has happened is that the General Assembly has asked me to be their speaker. They've given me a vote of confidence, and they've given me their trust, and I'm going to work hard to make sure they're proud of the vote they cast.
Well, one way for you to ensure you'll be speaker, not just speaker designate, is to be sure that there's a Democratic majority next January. Will you be working for a Democratic majority?
Well, sure, I'm going to be working for a Democratic majority. As I said in my speech, election contests, they have their place. Their place is not within the walls of the Capitol. It's on the campaign trail. So I'm fortunate and blessed that the voters of District 36 have chosen to not have anyone run against me, and I have an opportunity to, actually help some other Democrats get elected. I'm pleased for 2 terms now. That's been the case, and that's really because the voters have trust and confidence in me as well. And so I'm going to use my time, obviously, to help my colleagues get elected.